And, yeah, more death coils. Now, you need to... Mia has an elixir. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get it to Tana in time. However, what I can do is, I can try and just kill off these death coils quickly. Gotta be careful not to lure these enemies, though. That guy also has an elixir. And make sure that never, under any circumstances, is Cormag in range of Reeve, because I've lost runs to Reeve critting him. And this late into the chapter, that would be very, very frustrating. Okay, so right here, the problem is that I am really banking on that Gorgon not hitting him. But 83 avoid, I can feel pretty confident in that. It's kind of funny how the Rune Sword drops his crit down to 0 because that weapon cannot critical at all under any circumstances. Alright, I obviously want to be in healing range, but I also want to be careful not to... Yeah, let's heal 1 HP. If Natasha only gets hit by the Death Goyle, that's probably okay, because I doubt that the Shadow Shot's going to do much to her. 35. I mean, it actually damages her for 1, but it's only going to do a maximum of, like, 4 damage, so not really all that much. Might as well set up Garrick's support again. And yeah, everyone should be taking cover in woods now. Because I really don't want that Shadow Shot hitting people too much. Maybe Rachel should head down there as another physics staff supporter. I'm surprised the moguls haven't started coming out of here yet. I think you have to cross, like, some point around here. Anyway, here's the tricky part, because I need to make sure that... I'm pretty sure these don't move, though. Okay, that is still a pretty far range, even though you don't move. Actually, I could have her use the elixir. If Mia goes here, obliterates this Death Goyle, completely obliterates this Death Goyle, and then Tana can just take her elixir and use it. Just don't want to take any more chances. I'm sure Mia's going to camp strength now. I mean, this is assuming that Mia still has her elixir, but... yeah, she does. Let's temporarily deposit that Axe Reaver. And like I said, not taking any chances here. Wait a minute, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goes all the way down there. Okay, so this line with this cave. So going here, he'd be safe, but he'd also lure in that, which might provoke this entire group into moving. Which may not be that bad, and mean less enemies for my main group to have to deal with. I just really, really don't want Reeve to get anywhere near Cormag, because like I said, he has crit Cormag before. And I like putting you in on this mountain. Don't want Tennies to go near Shadow Shot. How much evasion do you have? Base evasion, then it's still going to have a pretty good hit rate on you. Okay, I also need to make sure that they will not make sure, because it's purely luck-based, but I need to hope that stone doesn't hit anybody. Nice job with these crits, Cormag, even though they're pretty unnecessary. And now this Death Goyle is going to die, which is good. Another crit! But this isn't the part of the map that I'm to, and that guy's doubling back. Alright, you're getting moved in. That spear is droppable, by the way. And I actually like having either Tana or Cormac grab that, so maybe it's a good thing that I lured you down here. Now, most of these enemies are going to have nothing hit rates against Joshua. Just going to hope that's the case for Stone as well. If I remember correctly, the turn after this is where potential problems start arising. Because basically what I need to do is... I need to not get hit by this, although a 33 hit rate on someone in open ground is pretty sad. What I need to do here is, I need to break through those archers, kill off that... You didn't even go for Natasha, that surprised me. And even more death calls. So, what I need to do is I need to break through these archers, kill that thing, hopefully, or I can just wait out its uses of Shadow Shot. You're still not moving, which really worries me. But I need to do this all while staying out of range of that Sword Slayer with my actual main sword fighters. So, obviously, that could be problematic. Okay, well, the Silver Sword does one round that. And Joshua turned it into a one-shot. Good. Like, really, this chapter is just wading your way through masses and masses of enemies. Okay, so Garrett could go there without getting attacked by the Sword Slayer. But maybe I should use someone else, just because I kind of want... I don't know if Garrett will be able to get in there, though. I need someone to get in there. Okay, Ross can kind of go on that peak. How much... Alright, you are on a forest, so that 90 evasion is kind of a lie. We also have Ephraim, and he's also on a forest. That 88 evasion is also a lie. Okay, this seems kind of crazy, but gonna go for it. Also, yeah, this is the awesomeness that is Berserker plus Killer Axe, although it's nowhere near FE6 Berserker crit rates. Although they made up for that in that game by having ridiculously bad hit rates. Still found Gonzalez pretty fun, though. Okay, this is what I wanted to do all along. No more Shadow Shot. That makes me rest a little bit easier. And I'm pretty sure that's out of Sword Slayer range. Please tell me that's out of Sword Slayer range. Yes, it is. It's just out of Sword Slayer range. Okay, now what I want to do here is... Most of you can't go around there, so my plan at this point is to... Gonna have double mages on these forests, that means. Because not many of the physical enemies can attack loot from here. But if I did attack this thing and... I kind of had a feeling she'd get hit there. Just, there was something that told me that she would. That under true hit is incredibly low odds, but still. Just wondering that Gorgon may decide to use... See, this is the issue, because now I need to kill that thing, but... I also need to heal loot, so I probably should not have Natasha kill that thing like I originally planned, and I may have to use Ephraim. And barely do anything for some reason, because you're... I mean, it's not an amazing defense, but for some reason that Javelin is just really weak. So that's 28 against Loot's 9, so she takes 19 damage. Don't think there's anything else in this turn that can attack her, though. What I was saying before, though, is what's worrying me now is the potential of Ross, like, of this Gorgon deciding to actually outright use Demon Surge and not Stone, which is definitely possible, and Demon Surge is really, really painful, so gotta hope that Ross can take this turn. Sometimes this Gorgon actually does like using Demon Surge instead of Stone. Right, now that Shadow Shot's gone, Teddy's is kind of safe around here. Though I'm not sure I should really be committing Amelia to the front just yet. or at all. You get to hear more of this song play if Teddy's levels up. Yeah, see, not many enemies can actually reach here. So maybe I am kind of safe having Amelia go here. Although that is 73 evade on just a plain tile, which is pretty amazing. Don't think I'm going to be committing Erica just yet. Meanwhile, back down here, I'm still surprised the moguls haven't started spawning yet. Must have triggered them early in my practice run of this. Like I said, there are so many reinforcements in this chapter that I just really can't even bother to keep track of them all. Alright, more of you did spawn. And I do want to get rid of that shadow shot. That potentially could activate the Pierce glitch. Actually, I'm just going to have her fly up there. That is in range of that. And that's not in range of Reeve, so... And that spear, yeah, that spear is droppable. Which is why I like getting it on one of my flyers down here. Because spears are pretty rare and powerful weapons. And, well, I don't need that killing edge. Just realized that Mia could actually go up there. Which might not be a bad idea. The only thing that can really attack her there is the Cyclops, and she has more defense than that, doesn't she? Yeah, she's got 35 defense effectively, so... Shadow Shot would do some damage to her. Nobody here has a Worm Slayer, right? Speaking of Worm Slayers, yeah, Worm Slayers will work against Morpher as well, so hitting one or two of them might be a good idea. I feel a little bit cheap using Mia here, because really the only reason why I'm able to use her this effectively is because she got so many kills in the coast, but... And I kind of wanted this to be a minimal grinding playthrough. Still though, Mia is fair. Even a base level Mia can actually be pretty effective in this chapter, as long as she gets a few kills against the starting enemies. She quickly snowballs into a complete powerhouse of doom. And I said I'd bring Rachel down here for physics staff support, even though I may not really be needing it. Okay, this turn is probably going to be the moment of truth. Let's see. Firstly, these things... Oh, one of them had an Axe Reaver. That's not a good start. And double missing is also a not good start. Yeah, that's going to be no damage. That's a Tomahawk too. And it missed entirely. That is just barely not a kill. That is pretty worrying. I hope nothing else can attack Ross. That is really, really close. Please tell me that nothing is in range of him. Please, please tell me that nothing is in range of him. That's good. That thing will be gone next turn. I don't think anything is in range of him. This is good. Okay, right, good. You weren't in range. I thought you were going to be able to get to him with the Javelin or something like that. But either I got lucky with that Gorgon getting one less point of magic, or Ross getting 1 point of resistance, because that was just... Okay, yeah, that is turn over, and that means Ross is safe, but that was really close. That Gorgon did exactly what I thought it would, and... Yeah, and now we have a bit of a problem, because whoever attacks that Gorgon cannot be a sword fighter, because otherwise the Sword Slayer is going to be using its ridiculous effectiveness bonus of Doom. Unfortunately, there are a ton of axes down here. One of them is actually a short... Okay, the Halberd cannot get to Ephraim, that's good. I think Ephraim going here might not be... Can't outright one-shot that thing. Don't want to have to resort to that. Let's see how Amelia does. I mean, she can't outright one-shot either, but... Alternatively, she could just try and sneak into the forests here. Although this would mean a bunch of things could attack her. Well, firstly, let's just use Garrick's turn, because there's really only one thing that he can do here, and that's actually use a better weapon. Because I want that gargoyle dead. And just barely pushing him over a level up. His enemies are not giving much experience to him anymore. His stats are getting a bit more like what I expect of him, though. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, the Sword Slayer can reach from here because it can go all the way up there, so still I have to make sure that whoever attacks here, obviously... Oh, Sigmund slightly weighs him down. That's interesting. Still, though, I may have to use a physics staff after this. Gorgons are definitely one of the more dangerous types of monsters in this game. I'd say that and Elder Bales with sharp claws. Okay, that missed. That's fine. Wouldn't have needed to worry if I got the crit on the first attack, though. He's weirdly not gaining a lot of strength for some reason. Okay, once again, the Sword Slayer. This is where being able to lock in enemy attack ranges would be great. Because this entire area is the no Joshua, no Garrick zone. But Amelia on a forest should be pretty unhittable, even with Weapon Triangle's advantage. So let's just weaken that thing a little bit. Now, obviously, I need to really heal Ross. Even if this doesn't fully heal him, I still have teddies on hand. Or loot. Didn't quite fully heal, but that should still be enough. Do I use teddies to get Ross back into the fight, or do I... Let's see, Ross... I don't think Ross would be able to even get to those gargoyles, though. Yeah, I'd kind of rather use it to get a second heal and heal loot, just in case she needs it. And yes, enjoy seeing Teddy's battle animations again. Okay, yeah, the Axe Reaver is still around. I think that's a different Axe Reaver one, actually. 27 against Natasha's defense of 11, which I think is better than loot. Yes, it is. So that would be 16 and 16, so she could still get attacked by both gargoyles and survive. Plus with the Joshua support. In fact, if anything, I'd actually prefer her to get attacked by the gargoyles, because that way they'd instantly die. And that would clear more of them up, so that the player phase is less cluttered. I mean, I could try using bolting on one of them, but I don't want to destroy loot's speed. Once again, this area right here is the no Joshua, no Garrick zone. Whatever else is fine. Loot can probably just go here, make sure not to equip bolting. And now... Okay, do I have to watch out for the short bow with my flyers that don't have the Philly shields? But you can go and take out this other Shadow Shot one. Would have been funny to show bolting doubling this thing, but... that is, I guess, saving bolting for other stuff that I guess I could use it for later. I mean, I'm curious to see how effective Cormac is going to be against Reeve, but I don't want to accidentally press A. I have lost practice runs due to accidentally pressing A and attacking things that I don't want to attack. Well, there's a ×4 with a Brave Weapon. I mean, Mia could still do it instantly anyway, but... let's see what we get with the ×4. Okay, no misses so far. And you got hit. Okay, if all of them hit... and they did! Nice one! And another elixir, which we may need around here, but I guess I'll send it to the convoy anyway. This is probably the first time that I've successfully kind of pincer attacked this chapter. So this is going a little bit smoother than it did in than it did on my Erica file, where I wasn't really able to do this, let's just say. Because my characters were a lot weaker than this. And it wasn't because I've grinded them on this route, it's because, I ended Chapter 19 as fast as possible on Erica's route just for the sake of playing up to this point faster. So I had less experience from that chapter going into this one. Just wondering if I should actually have Mia attack down here. None of these enemies are really going to be able to damage her, but that Dragon Stone is getting dangerously close to half uses. And I'd kind of rather other characters get experience at this point, because she's almost level capped. Guess I'll just have Mia hover around here. And we're not even done with reinforcements yet at all. Okay, this is a complete waste of a Brave Lance, but still, it was fun to use it on that Cyclops. I think you can buy some Brave Weapons at the post-game. Assuming that you got the member card and can actually access secret shops. Well, a lot of these guys are going to be dead anyway this turn. But I would rather the experience be going to Cormac than Mia, because Mia is effectively a finite resource, whereas Cormac can still destroy things all the way up to the end of the post-game. Well, Mia isn't finite if you use glitches, but still. This is a lot of uses of the Brave Lance gone, though. I still have my full uses of the Hammer and Staff, but I like to save that for repairing the legendary weapons in the post-game, because those things are really useful in the post-game. I knew one of them had some kind of Reaver. But he still got hit with 260s anyway. Now it's just that group of Malduins left. And a couple of Death Coil reinforcements. They're not going for Natasha still, which I find kind of strange. Normally the enemy makes a beeline for weak healers. Maybe the AI knows about Slayer. And the guy with the Axe Reaver attacked the person with the sword. Either that, or they're trying to break my Silver Blade, knowing how rare it is. I mean, it's not really that rare now, since you can buy more of them, but still. Maybe they were trying to break the Silver Blade. I wouldn't put it past the AI, it just loves to spite you in Fire Emblem games. Okay, that thing is shaping up to be destroyed next turn, which is good. Also, I think Amelia needs a lot more kill. I could have equipped... Does she still... I'm sure she still has a Horse Slayer. I should have equipped that, but... I guess I wanted to counterattack the Archer. If she did still have the Horse Slayer, I probably would have killed a few of these this turn. That may be cap... I think that is cap speed, actually. And the range one didn't even go for her at all. Ironically, Ephraim's probably one of the most behind in levels at this point. And more Death Coils. Like I said, these reinforcements are just not done yet, and they just keep on coming. You do have a Horse Slayer. Might as well move a little bit further into the map. And then, yeah, let's just get rid of the Sword Slayer so Garrett and Joshua can stop hiding. And we actually get the Sword Slayer, despite the fact that there are no more enemies left in the game that are weak to it. Which is a really jerk move, them actually giving you the Sword Slayer when... Yeah, give you another Sword Slayer, I mean. And we did have one Sword Slayer earlier. Although if you're on Erica's route, you may not necessarily have got one of the Sword Slayers. It only gets dropped by a reinforcement in that defend chapter that you might not even see appear if you end it too early. Probably should have swapped the one use elixir for that one, but still, doubt I'm gonna need to use it. Here's where I need to be kind of careful of Reeve, though. Right, you have a halberd. I forgot about that. Okay, then. Let's first try and spear you with Cormag. I thought at least one of those would miss, but that's fine. I mean, I don't think it's a threat to Amelia anyway, but... You know, I kind of have to use Vidofni here. Hopefully it only gets... Well, I mean, some of these death calls might occur and consume a bit more uses of it. This file does not want to give Tana strength. Like, this is probably very, very majorly strength screwed for a level 10 promoted Tana, but at least she's capped speed now. Her stats are kind of pyramiding like that. Which is kind of weird. She normally has a lot of strength. I don't know what's happening to her this playthrough. But we're almost done with this chapter. We do need to be obviously careful of Morva, though, because he does hit extremely hard, regardless of stats. I wonder if I should just put Reeve out of his misery now. He does have a... So, you don't get special boss conversations between LaRachel and Reeve in Chapter 19, but you do now. They do have a special boss conversation here, and I kind of wish that I'd grinded LaRachel to promotion just so I could have her finish him off, but yeah, that'd be kind of cheap, so I decided not to. And you went for Joshua instead. I'm pretty sure he's going to be fine. I think some of you even have Axe Reavers, so they're not going to be that effective against him regardless. Nice double crit, though. This chapter hasn't quite gone on as long as I thought it would. Kind of wanted a 0 damage crit there. Now they're all just using javelins. I don't think I ever triggered the... So there's a trigger point that when you cross it, 3 moguls spawn out of the Black Temple's gate every turn for a very long time. Like I said, I don't think I actually ever crossed that trigger point this run. Wow, Ewan's surprisingly effective against Reeve. That is not what I thought would happen. Let's try this. I don't even need to fear a crit here. Yeah, here's where access to anima from Druid helps. Being able to have weapon triangle advantage against light magic users. I still wish Reeve got a more unique sprite, though. It's not a great level up, but still. Amelia kind of needs the experience more, but she's not going to be able to get to Reeve. Ephraim needs the experience as well, but he's not going to be able to get there. So we'll just have to settle for fighting these things. And I am going to have, I know this is cruel, but I am going to try and have Mia deal the final blow to Morva, just for fittingness, even though that is a bit of a waste of how much experience he has. Oh, that is an Axe Reaver. Natasha's probably going to level up off her next heal anyway, so she probably doesn't need this kill. Just realised this is very lots that female sages wear. Yeah, I probably need to finish off Reeve now, so... I might have to use Tana or... Well, Cormac could work, but if he misses, he's probably gonna die. Oh, she didn't level up off of her next heal. Wait a minute, that times 3 is 39. Yeah, that won't kill her on a crit. I was worried for a moment. And finally, Reeve is dead. I had some people in the comments annoyed that he had plot armor in the last chapter. The good news is he doesn't have plot armor for very long. So yeah, of all the villains in this game, Reeve is fairly generic. He's pretty much just your average Fire Emblem series Garneth archetype, not really all that much more than that. Although I do like the fact that he's a light magic user, because most Garneths obviously are dark magic users. So that's a kind of a nice twist on it. The fact that he's, despite being a demon worshipper and an avid fan of darkness, he still uses light magic, which, like I said, is kind of a nice twist. So even the more generic villains in this game have some good twists to them. I like the villains in Sacred Stones a lot. I find that one of the main strengths of the game. And yeah, now the moguls have been triggered. So yeah, they happen when you get close to the temple. I must have had someone fly around here and lure in Reeve early last time. But yeah, these moguls are going to be spawning here for a while. They keep going for the next 15 turns or so. It's kind of insane. They're also almost no threat whatsoever, so I don't even know why they bother. But you will not be hearing the victory is near theme very long in this map, because reinforcements just keep on coming. Okay, one of them has an Axe Reaver. But also remember, once again, that anybody with less than 39 health should never fight Morva under any circumstances. Such as Tana at the moment, who does have less than 38 health. It's less on normal or easy, but I forget how much stats he has on those modes. Just watch his actual attack power, because that's always exactly the amount of damage you'll be taking. Finally, your magic has broken 20. Natasha does tend to be quite powerful at high levels. Okay, you're only doing 37 now. Oh, right, I think I must have reloaded the save file. Like, this is my first attempt at this. I haven't had any failures yet. Hopefully, that's not tempting fate, but yeah. But, oh yeah, that must be why. So, I did reset the game between saving on the preparation screen and now. That must be why his stats are slightly different, because hard mode, yeah, must still randomize stats like that. And I have to have Mia go here in order to physic her with Rachel. I probably do want to grind up Rachel in the post-game, because just her stats get completely ridiculous at higher levels. She has probably some of the most absurd averages. Well, I mean, her caps let her down a little bit in that regard, but out of any character in the game, her averages are pretty crazy. She probably averages the most cap stats out of anybody. Though, once again, that could be because of the low-ish caps of Mage Knights, though the higher movement makes up for it. And I just realized I need Ephraim to seize. Great. Yeah, it's easy to forget about seizing. At least we don't have to drag Roy across the entire map, like FE6, where he's stuck unpromoted for 90% of the game, and yeah, every single chapter is seize. That obviously ends very well. Well, at least we have Teddies here. And at least we finally have a good loot, what it only took, like, almost the entire game. But now loot is actually doubling things, actually doing damage. This is really what loot always should have been. It's just that she got majorly orange screwed. Wait, that's with your javelin. What about with your steel lance? That would be 4 more, so 27. 7, so 20. And there's also a mogul here that could possibly attack her, so I do need to be careful. I need to kill this mogul, most likely. Because I would really hate to lose this now. Might as well use the Horse Slayer here, there's not much else that we'll be using it on. Though I'm pretty sure there are a few Malduins in the next map. And let's just overkill Slayer you. Oh, you have exactly enough... Wait. Actually, if I healed you for that 1 point of HP, you would be able to fight Morven and survive, which is good. And yet more overkill, literally killing this thing 3 times over. I was just thinking that, yeah, I'm glad this boss doesn't have 3 range. There are some dragons in the series that have 3 range breath, and those are always terrifying. Oh, that's why! Yeah, it took me a while for that to hit, but the reason why he's losing 5 hit with Thunder as opposed to Flux is because of the S-rank bonus. I suppose I can start whittling down Morven now. But yeah, that is the S-rank bonus working, so you get a 5% bonus to hit and critical, only while you have the weapon equipped that you have an S-rank in. Weapon type equip, I mean. But yeah, the S-rank bonus is kind of helpful sometimes. Though I may have said this before, but the 5% hit does not apply to status staves if you have an S-rank in staves. And this is particularly important in FE7 because that game has no S-rank staff, so people think, oh, there must be a reason to getting an S-rank in staves, right? Also, as you can see here, Morva does look like a zombified, decayed version of Mia. But yeah, a lot of people think there must be some reason to get an S-rank in staffs in FE7, right? Actually, no. There's no S-rank staff, and... You're not going to double, are you? I'm pretty sure you're not going to double. But yeah, there's no S-rank staff, and the 5% hit bonus does not apply to status staffs, so there's really no reason to get an S-rank in staffs in that game. Because that's one of those where you can only have 1 S rank. That's another fairly low hit rate hitting, but we're probably going to be... Yeah, we're definitely going to be done with this chapter. And we actually do have the Victory is Near theme working now. Now, how much damage is Mia going to 55 with a perfect... Yeah, Mia can finish this now. Let me just quickly check how much damage Natasha does. Slayer is pretty effective against this thing, even from his own side, if you have a Berserk Staff. But, I feel really bad for doing this, but let's finish it like this. So, Mia is the only person to have a special boss conversation with Morva, but it's the only boss conversation Morva has, period. And it's kind of a weird one. That's all. Just a single line. Oh, I thought she'd crit. So, Zombified Morva really isn't the most talkative of bosses. And, well, fittingly that Mia maxes out her strength from that. Yeah, right, that's really mean to do that, but I feel like she's the one who really needs to be the one to put him out of his misery. You'll see in the end of chapter cutscene, but it's very heavily implied that Mia knows exactly who that was and what she was doing. In fact, it's implied she knew right when this chapter began. Remember her dialogue back there? She seemed to feel a bit uneasy, but then dismissed it when they asked. Anyway, let's just finish this chapter. So we've finally reached the temple itself. So yeah, this scene does imply that she knows what just happened. Okay, I should mention, this flashback here is not in Erica's route at all. This is Ephraim exclusive. So on that note, finally hearing the full backstory, we end this and get ready for the end. Join me next time for the finale of the main storyline. And something that I want to quickly just bring up here, that stuff with Mia and Ephraim, that's also Ephraim exclusive. On Erica's route, Mia still keeps it all bottled up. She doesn't tell them that her father just died. So I really like that one. I guess it makes sense because on this route you saw a lot more of Mia. She was Ephraim's traveling companion during his trek through Grotto. So it makes sense they'd focus on her more. But yeah, this is yet another reason why I do like the last portion of the game more on Ephraim's route from a story perspective. Especially that flashback with Leon as well. Because the thing about him foreseeing that earthquake, it's been implied earlier in the story that there was some disaster that he wanted this power to help avert, but now we're finally seeing what it is. On Erica's route, you don't get that flashback, and it's pretty abruptly alluded to in the epilogue. Again, I'll be talking about that later. But, like I said, next time it'll be the final chapter, so see you then.